Om Ajnanatimidandasya Jnananjana Chalakaya Chakshurindilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Guruvena Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Girim Yatkripataraham Bande Shri Gurundinataranam Paramanandamaravam Shri Chaitanyeshwaram. So, today is the appearance day of Srimati Radharani. We have in our Mangala in the front of the Bhagavad-gita, one verse, Tapta Kanchana Gauranghi Radhe Vrindavaneshri Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Prana Mamadi Hare. So the golden form, Srimati Radharani, Tapta Kanchana Gauranghi, Radhe Vrindavaneshwari, the queen of Vrindavan, who's controlling everything in Vrindavan. Vrishabhanu Sute Devi, the daughter of Vrishabhanu. We offer our obeisances because Hari Priya, she's very dear to Krishna, very dear to Krishna. So, Krishna has various Shaktis, Parasya Shakti, Vividaya Shruyate, various Shaktis. And he displays for various purposes his various Shaktis. But one quality of Krishna is that he's Anandamaya Brihasat. He's after ever increasing enjoyment. One person came from Germany and he met Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And after visiting many temples, he came to the conclusion, he explained, that Krishna must be the Supreme Personality of Godhead because he's always enjoying. And we see that Krishna is playing his flute. Right? He's tending the cows, playing his flute, enjoying with his cowherd boyfriends, various games, and he's dancing with the gopis. So when Krishna wants to enjoy, he has an energy for that, an expansion for that. And it's called his Landini Shakti. So Srimati Radharani is a personification of that Shakti. Krishna and Srimati Radharani are one and the same. But they've separated for the purpose of Krishna's enjoyment. And just as Krishna has 64 wonderful, unlimited qualities, but 64 of those qualities are enumerated, so Srimati Radharani also has her qualities. She has unlimited qualities, but 25 qualities are enumerated. When Srila Sukadeva Goswami was reciting Srimad Bhagavatam to Maharaj Parikshit, through all the different skandhas, and in the 10th skandha he describes the pastimes of Krishna, but he doesn't directly mention the name of Radharani. Why? Because Sukadeva Goswami, he had only 7 days to explain everything to Maharaj Parikshit, the sunam bonam, the goal of life. And if he had mentioned the name of Srimati Radharani, chances are that he may go into ecstasy He may even, by chanting Radharani's name, become unconscious also. And it may take a long time to revive him. So purposely, he didn't directly mention Radharani's name. Radharani is the embodiment of affection for Krishna. And she has such a mood that she becomes the greatest devotee there in Vrindavan. Therefore, she's known as Vrindavan Ishwari. Why? Because she pleases Krishna. She knows how to please Krishna the most. But just see the mood of Radharani. Radharani's mood is that she tries to encourage others to please Krishna. She's not thinking, I please Krishna the best. Her mood is, let others please Krishna. They'll be able to please him more. So she pushes forward other gopis to meet with Krishna. At the same time, the other gopis are trying to make arrangements for Krishna and Radharani to meet together and enjoy pastimes. So the pastimes of Radha and Krishna are very confidential. No one but a purified devotee, a pure devotee, can actually understand them. That's why Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is none other than Radha and Krishna, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Nahi Anya. Only with a few devotees, like Ramananda Roy, Swarup Damodar, Sikhi Mahiti's sister, right? Did he discuss these confidential pastimes of Radha and Krishna? Because they're not for everyone. No mundane scholar can ever understand. Only a devotee who's free from all material designations can understand the mood of Srimati Radharani and the love that Srimati Radharani has for Krishna and Krishna has for her. Unless one is on the pastimes, on the platform of spontaneous devotional service, Raganuga Bhakti, one cannot actually worship Radha and Krishna. It's not possible. Therefore, our deity worship is actually worship of Lakshmi Narayan. We're worshiping SriSriRadhaRasbihari in the mood of Lakshmi Narayan. Because only those devotees who are on that platform of spontaneous devotional service can actually worship Radha and Krishna. Although it's Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's intention that all of his followers come to that platform of worshiping Radha and Krishna, of entering into the pastimes of Radha and Krishna in Vrindavan, it's not so easy thing. Not so easy. So anyway, still we want to hear about that so that we might become purified, so that one day after performing a lot of devotional service and after chanting the holy name for many, many years, then we might be able to get a small inkling, a small hint at the love affairs or the love between Radha and Krishna. So, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu met with Ramananda Roy in Rajamundry, and that time he was discussing with him about what is the ultimate goal of life, and Ramananda Roy was suggesting various things, right? Like the Varnashram system, no more than that, and until he started talking about devotional service, and the Mahaprabhu accepted that. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very interested to hear more and more, and all the way up to the confidential pastimes of Radha and Krishna in Vrindavan. So I thought I'd read a little bit from that conversation, so that we can get a little inkling into, or a little hint about the pastimes of Radha and Krishna. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. So this is from the Madhya Lila, chapter 8, talks between the Lord and Ramananda Roy, text number 139. Purusha Yoshit Kiba Stavar Jangam Sarva Chitta Chittaksha Sakshat Manatmadan. The very name Krishna means that he attracts even Cupid. He is therefore attractive to everyone, male, female, moving, inert living entities. Indeed, Krishna is known as the all-attractive one. Purport. Just as there are many orbs in the material world called stars or planets, in the spiritual world there are many spiritual planets called the Vaikuntha Lokas. The spiritual universe, however, is situated far, far away from the cluster of material universes. Material scientists cannot even estimate the number of planets and stars within the universe. They are also incapable of traveling to other stars by spaceship. According to Bhagavad-gita, there is also a spiritual world. Parastasmat tubhavonyo vyakto vyaktak sanatanaha ya sarveshu bhuteshu nasyatshu na vinashyati. Yet there is another manifested nature which is eternal and transcendental to this manifested and unmanifested matter. It is supreme and is never annihilated. When all this world is annihilated, that part remains as it is. Thus, there is another nature which is superior to material nature. The word bhava or swabhava refers to nature. The spiritual nature is eternal, and even when all the material universes are destroyed, the planets in the spiritual world abide. They remain exactly as the spirit soul remains even after the annihilation of the material body. The spiritual world is called the apakrit, anti-material world. In this transcendental spiritual world, or universe, the highest planetary system is known as Goloka Vrindavan. That is the abode of Lord Krishna himself, who is also spiritual. Krishna is also known as Aprakrit Madan. The name Madan refers to Cupid, but Krishna is the spiritual Madan. His body is not material like the body of Cupid. In this material universe, Krishna's body is all spiritual, Satchit Ananda Vigraha. Therefore, he's called Aprakrit Madan. He is also known as Manmat Madan, which means that he is attractive to Cupid. Sometimes Krishna's activities and attractive features are misrepresented by gross materialists who accuse him of being immoral because he danced with the gopis. But such an accusation results from not knowing that Krishna is beyond the material world. His body is Satchit Ananda Vigraha, completely spiritual. There's no material contamination in his body, and one should not consider his body a lump of flesh and bones. The Mayavadi philosophers conceive of Krishna's body as material, and this is abominable, grossly materialistic conception. Just as Krishna is completely spiritual, the gopis are also spiritual, and this is confirmed in the Brahma Samhita. Chapter 5, text 37. Ananda Chinmay Ras Pratibhavi Bhavis Tabirya Eva Nija Rupataya Kalabi Goloka Eva Nivasat Yakilatma Bhuto Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. I worship Govinda, the primal Lord. He resides in his own realm Goloka with Radha, who resembles his own spiritual figure and who embodies the ecstatic potency Landini. Their companions are her confidants, who embody extensions of her bodily form and who are imbued and permeated with ever blissful spiritual rus. The gopis are also of the same spiritual quality, Nija Rupataya, because they are expansions of Krishna's pleasure potency. Neither Krishna nor the gopis have anything to do with lumps of matter or the material conception. In the material world, the living entity is engaged within the material body, and due to ignorance, he thinks that he is the body. Therefore, here, the enjoyment of lusty desires between male and female is all material. One cannot compare the lusty desires of materialistic man to the transcendental lusty desires of Krishna. Unless one is advanced in spiritual science, he cannot understand the lusty desires between Krishna and the gopis. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita, the lusty desire of the gopis is compared to gold. The lusty desires of materialistic man, on the other hand, are compared to iron. At no stage can iron and gold be equated. The living entities, moving and non-moving, are part and parcel of Krishna. Therefore, they originally have the same kind of lusty desire as his. But when this lusty desire is expressed through matter, it is abominable. When a living entity is spiritually advanced and liberated from material bondage, he can understand Krishna in truth. As stated in the Bhagavad-gita, chapter 4, text number 9, Janma karma chame divyam evam yo veti tatvataha tattva deham punajanma nati mamati soarjuna. One who knows the transcendental nature of my appearance and activities does not, upon leaving the body, take his birth again in this material world, but attains my eternal abode, O Arjuna. When one can understand the body of Krishna, as well as the Lord's lusty desires, one is immediately liberated. A conditioned soul and encaged within the material body cannot understand Krishna, as stated in the Bhagavad-gita. Manushyanam sahasreshu kaschid yatati siddhaye yatatam api siddhanam kaschin mam viti tattvataha. Out of many thousands among men, one may endeavor for perfection, and of those who have achieved perfection, hardly one knows me in truth. The word siddhaye indicates liberation. Only after being liberated from material conditioning can one understand Krishna. When one can understand Krishna as he is tattvataha, one actually lives in the spiritual world, although apparently living within the material body. This technical science can be understood when one is actually spiritually advanced. In his Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1-187, Srila Rupa Goswami says, Iha yasya hare dasya karmana manasa gira nikilasyapyavastastu jivan mukta sa uchate. When a person in this material world desires only to serve Krishna with love and devotion, he's liberated, even though functioning within the material world. As the Bhagavad-gita 14:26 confirms, Mam chayo vyabhicharena bhakti yogena sevata sagunan samatityaita brahma bhuyaya kalpate. One who engages in full devotional service, unfailing in all circumstances, and once transcends the modes of material nature, and thus comes to the level of Brahman. Simply by engaging in the loving service of the Lord, one can attain liberation. As stated in the Bhagavad-gita 18:54, Brahma Bhuta Prasantatma Na Sochiti Na Kanchiti. A person who is highly advanced in spiritual knowledge and who has attained the Brahma Bhuta stage neither laments nor hankers for anything material. That is the stage of spiritual realization. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur considers the Brahma Bhuta stage in two divisions, Swarup Gata and Vastu Gata. One who has understood Krishna in truth, but is still maintaining some material connection, is known to be situated in his Swarup, his original consciousness. When the original consciousness is completely spiritual, it is called Krishna consciousness. One who lives in such consciousness is actually living in Vrindavan. He may live anywhere. Material location doesn't matter. When by the grace of Krishna, one thus advances, he becomes completely uncontaminated by the material body and mind, and at that time factually lives in Vrindavan. This stage is called Vastu Gata. One should execute his spiritual activities in the Swarup Gata stage of consciousness. He should also chant the Chinmayi Gayatri, the spiritual mantras, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Klim Krishnaya Govindaya Gopijana Valavaya Swaha, and Klim Kamadevaya Vidhame Pushpananaya Dhimahi Tanno Mangai Prachodayat. These are Kama Gayatri and Kama Bij mantras. One should be initiated by a bona fide spiritual master and worship Krishna with these transcendental mantras. As explained by Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami in the previous verse and in the current verse, Vrindavane aprikrit navina mandan kam gayatri kam bij jhanra upasan purush yoshit kiba stavera jangam sarva chitta karkaksha sakshat manmat madan. A person who is properly purified and initiated by the spiritual master worships the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna by chanting this mantra, the Kam Gayatri and the Kama Bij. As the Bhagavad-gita 1865 confirms, one should engage in transcendental worship in order to be fit for being attracted by Krishna, the all-attractive. Manmana bhava mad bhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru mam evaishashi satyam te pratijana priyosi me. Always think of me and become my devotee. Worship me and offer homage unto me. Thus you will come to me without fail. I promise you this because you are my very dear friend. Since every living entity is part and parcel of Krishna, Krishna is naturally attractive. Due to the material covering, one's attraction for Krishna is checked. One is not usually attracted by Krishna in the material world, but as soon as one is liberated from material conditioning, he is naturally attracted. Therefore it is said in this verse, Sarva Chitta Kara Shakta. Everyone is naturally attracted to Krishna. This attraction is within everyone's heart, and when the heart is cleansed, that attraction is manifested. Cheto dharpana marjanam bhava mahadavagni nirvapanam. Text number 140. When Krishna left the rasa dance, the gopis became very morose, and when they were grieving, Krishna reappeared, dressed in yellow garments, wearing a flower garland and smiling. He was attractive even to Cupid. In this way, Krishna appeared among the gopis. Each and every devotee has a certain type of transcendental mellow in relation to Krishna. But in all transcendental relationships, the devotee is the worshipper, Ashraya, and Krishna is the object of worship, Vishaya. Let Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, be glorified by virtue of his expanding attractive features. He subjugated the gopis, named Tardaka and Pali, and absorbed the minds of Shama and Lalita. He is the most attractive lover of Srimati Radharani and is the reservoir of pleasure for the devotees in all transcendental mellows. Krishna is all attractive for devotees in all mellows because he's the personification of conjugal mellow. Krishna is attractive not only to all devotees, but to himself as well. My dear friends, just see how Krishna is enjoying the season of spring. With the gopis embracing each of his limbs, he's like an amorous love personified. With his transcendental pastimes, he enlivens all the gopis and the entire creation. With his soft bluish black arms and legs, which resemble blue lotus flowers, he has created a festival for Cupid. This is a verse from the Gita Govinda. He also attracts Narayan, who's an incarnation of Sankarshan, and the husband of the goddess of fortune. He attracts not only Narayan, but also all women headed by the goddess of fortune, the consort of Narayan. Addressing Krishna Arjuna, Lord Mahavishnu, the Mahapurush, said, I wanted to see both of you, therefore I have brought the sons of the Brahmin here. Both of you appeared in the material world to re-establish religious principles, and you have both appeared here with all your potencies. After killing all the demons, please quickly return to the spiritual world. O my Lord, we do not know how the serpent Kaliya attains such an opportunity to be touched by the dust of your lotus feet. For this end, the goddess of fortune performed austerities for centuries, giving up all other desires and observing austere vows. Indeed, we do not know how this serpent Kaliya got such an opportunity. So here, Mahavishnu, he's attracted by Krishna. He made an arrangement of the sons of the Brahmin to be brought to him so that Arjuna and Krishna would come so that he could see Krishna. And here the wives of Kaliya are amazed how Kaliya got such an opportunity to be blessed by the lotus feet of Krishna. Upon seeing his own reflection in a bejeweled pillar of Dwarka palace, Krishna desired to embrace it, saying, Alas, I have never seen such a person before. Who is he? Just by seeing him, I have become eager to embrace him, exactly like Srimati Radharani. So Krishna is enamored even by his own beauty. Sri Ramananda Roy then said, I thus have briefly explained the original form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Now, let me describe the position of Srimati Radharani. So Krishna is all attractive to everyone, even himself, Lord Narayan. So now we're going to hear about the person who Krishna is attracted to. Krishna has unlimited potencies, which can be divided into three main parts. There's the spiritual potency, material potency, and the marginal potency, which is known as the living entities. In other words, they're all potencies of God, internal, external, and marginal. But the internal potency is the Lord's personal energy and stands over the other two. The original potency of Lord Vishnu is superior or spiritual, and the living entity actually belongs to that superior energy. But there's another energy called the material energy, and this third energy is full of ignorance. And that's from the Vishnu Puran. Originally, Lord Krishna is Satchit Ananda Vigraha, the transcendental form of eternity, bliss, and knowledge. Therefore, his personal potency, the internal potency, has three different forms. Hlandini is his aspect of bliss, Sandhini of eternal existence, and Samvit of cognizance, which is also accepted as knowledge. My dear Lord, you are the transcendental reservoir of all transcendental qualities. Your pleasure potency, existence potency, and knowledge potency are actually all one internal spiritual potency. The conditioned soul, although actually spiritual, sometimes experiences pleasure, and sometimes pain, and sometimes a mixture of pain and pleasure. This is due to him being touched by matter. But because you are above all material qualities, these are not found in you. Your superior spiritual potency is completely transcendental, and for you there's no such thing as relative pleasure, pleasure mixed with pain, or pain itself. The potency called Landini gives Krishna transcendental pleasure. Through this pleasure potency, Krishna personally tastes all spiritual pleasure. Lord Krishna tastes all kinds of transcendental happiness, although he himself is happiness personified. The pleasure relished by his pure devotees is also manifested in his pleasure potency. The most essential part of his pleasure potency is love of God, prema. Consequently, the explanation of love of God is also a transcendental mellow full of pleasure. The essential part of love of Godhead is called Mahabhav, transcendental ecstasy, and that ecstasy is represented by Srimati Radharani. Among the gopis of Vrindavan, Srimati Radharani and another gopi are considered chief. But when we compare the gopis, it appears that Srimati Radharani is the most important because her real feature expresses the highest ecstasy of love. The ecstasy of love by the other gopis cannot be compared to that of Srimati Radharani. And that's from Rupa Goswami's Ujjvala Nilamani. The body of Srimati Radharani is a veritable transformation of love of Godhead. She is the dearmost friend of Krishna, and this is known throughout the world. I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord who resides in his own abode, Goloka, with Radha, who resembles his own spiritual figure, and who embodies the ecstatic potency, Landini. Their companions and her confidants, who embody extensions of her bodily form and who are imbued and impermeated with ever blissful spiritual rasa. Say Mahabhav hoy Chintamani sar Krishna vancha purna karde e karya tanrar. That supreme ecstasy of Srimati Radharani is the essence of spiritual life. Her only business is to fulfill all the desires of Krishna. Srimati Radharani is the most spiritual gem, and the other gopis, Lalita, Vishaka, and so on, are expansions of her spiritual body. So all the other gopis, they expand from Krishna. Srimati Radharani's transcendental body is brilliant in luster and full of transcendental fragrances. Lord Krishna's affection for her is like a perfumed massage. Purport. Sugandhi Uvartana refers to a paste made of several perfumes and fragrant oils. This paste is massaged all over the body, and in this way the body's dirt and perspiration are removed. Srimati Radharani's body is automatically perfumed, but when her body is massaged with the scented paste of Krishna's affection, her entire body is doubly perfumed and made brilliant and lustrous. This is the beginning of Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami's description of Srimati Radharani's transcendental body. The description found in verses 165 through 181 is based on a book by Srila Raghunath Das Goswami known as Prema Bhoja Marmanda. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur's translation of the original Sanskrit reads as follows. So this is from Bhaktivinoda Thakur's translation of Raghunath Das Goswami's book. The love of the gopis for Krishna is full of transcendental ecstasy. It appears to be brilliant, a brilliant jewel, and enlightened by such a transcendental jewel. Radharani's body is further perfumed and decorated with kumkum. In the morning, her body is bathed in the nectar of compassion. In the afternoon, in the nectar of youth. And in the evening, in the nectar of luster itself. In this way, the bathing is performed, and her body becomes as brilliant as the Chintamani jewel. She is dressed in various kinds of silken garments, one of which is her natural shyness. Her beauty is more and more enhanced, being decorated with red kumkum of beauty itself and the blackish musk of conjugal love. Thus her body is decorated with different colors. Her ornaments embody the natural symptoms of ecstasy: trembling, tears, jubilation, stunning, perspiration, faltering of the voice, bodily redness, madness, and dullness. In this way, her entire body is bedecked with these 9 different jewels. Over and above this, the beauty of her body is enhanced by her transcendental qualities, which constitute the flower garland hanging from her body. The ecstasy of love for Krishna is known as dhira and adhira, sober and restless. Such ecstasy constitutes the covering of Srimati Radharani's body, and it is adorned by camphor. Her transcendental anger towards Krishna is embodied as the arrangement of the hair on her head, and the tilak of her great fortune shines on her beautiful forehead. Srimati Radharani's earrings are the holy names of Krishna, as well as the hearing of her name and fame. Her lips are always reddish due to the betel nut of ecstatic affection for Krishna. The black ointment around her eyes is her tricky behavior with Krishna, brought about by love. Her joking with Krishna and gentle smiling constitute the camphor by which she is perfumed. She sleeps in her room with the aroma of pride, and when she lies down in her bed, the transcendental variety of her loving ecstasy is like a jewel locket in the midst of her necklace of separation. Her transcendental breasts are covered by her sari in the form of affection and anger towards Krishna. She has a stringed instrument known as the Kachapi Veena, which is the fame and fortune that actually dries up the faces and the breast of the other gopis. She always keeps her hands on the shoulder of her gopi friend, who represents her youthful beauty, and although she's highly qualified with so many spiritual assets, she's nonetheless afflicted by the Cupid known as Krishna. Thus, she is defeated. Srila Raghunath Das Goswami offers his respectful obeisances to Srimati Radharani. Taking a straw in his mouth, indeed he prays, "O Gandharvika, Srimati Radharani, just as Krishna never rejects a surrendered soul, please don't reject me." This is a summary translation of the Preman Bhoja Maranda, which Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami quotes. Text 167. Srimati Radharani gives her first bath in the shower of the nectar of compassion, and she takes her second shower in the nectar of youth. After her midday bath, Radharani takes another bath in the nectar of bodily luster, and she puts on the garment of shyness, which is her black silk sari. Srimati Radharani's affection for Krishna in her upper garment, which is pinkish in color, then she covers her breast with another garment composed of affection and anger toward Krishna. Srimati Radharani's personal beauty is a reddish powder known as kumkum. Her affection for her associates is sandalwood pulp, and her sweetness of her smile is camphor. All these combined together are smeared over her body. Conjugal love for Krishna is the abundance of musk, and with that musk her whole body is decorated. Craftiness and covered anger constitute the arrangement of her hair. The quality of anger due to jealousy is the silk garment covering her body. Her attachment for Krishna is the reddish color of betel nuts on her brilliant lips. Her double dealings in loving affairs constitute the black ointment around her eyes. The ornaments decorating her body are blazing ecstasies of goodness and the constantly existing ecstasies headed by jubilation. All these ecstasies are the ornaments of her body. Also ornamenting her body are the 24 kinds of ecstatic symptoms, beginning with Kila Kinschita. Her transcendental qualities constitute the flower garland hanging in fullness over her body. Purport. The 20 different modes headed by Kila Kinchita are described as follows. First, in connection with the body, there are bhava, ecstasy, bhava, gestures, and hela, negligence. In relation to the self, there are shobha, beauty, kanti, luster, dipti, brilliance, madhurya, sweetness, pragadbhata, impudence, and odharya, magnanimity, and dhairya, patience. And in relation to nature, there are lila, pastimes, and vilas, enjoyment, vichchiti, breaking off, and vibram, puzzlement. There are no English equivalents for the words kila kinchita, motaita, and kutamita. Srimati Radharani's flower garland consists of her qualities and is divided into mental, verbal, and bodily parts. Her attitude of forgiveness and mercy is all mental. Her talks, which are very pleasing to the ear, are verbal. The bodily qualities are age, beauty, luster, and grace. These qualities of Srimati Radharani, Srila Raghunath Das Goswami goes on to expand, and so we can understanding Radharani's what her bodily features and how they relate to love for Krishna is all very scientific. And the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan, like Srila Raghunath Das Goswami, have very nicely explained all these things. And we can try to understand, but we won't be able to understand until we become sufficiently purified. So this day is an opportunity for us to try to glean from Srimati Radharani the mood of rendering service to Krishna. For so many lifetimes our mood has been to try to satisfy our senses. We try to satisfy our tongue, the belly, the genitals, in various ways. Or we try to satisfy our ego, our false ego, that I am something in this material world. So all of these things are obstacles. They're blocking the natural attraction for Krishna, the natural attraction to serve Krishna. Srimati Radharani is the embodiment of service to Krishna, of trying to please Krishna. That's her only desire, her only reason for existence is to please Krishna. We're stuck here in this material world because we have forgotten that desire. And we have so many other unwanted desires. So on this day of Srimati Radharani appearance, we can approach one of her, she has many qualities, but one of her qualities is she's very, very kind. She's very merciful. That's the expansion of Krishna's kindness comes in the form of Srimati Radharani, and the devotees in Vrindavan, they know that. They know that Radharani is very kind. So when you go to Vrindavan, the Brijvasis there, they're chanting the name of Radhe, Radhe. Of course, we chant Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. When Srila Prabhupada would walk down the street in Vrindavan, Brijvasis would meet him. That time, Chittikar Road, there was nothing there. Only fields, a few trees, nothing. Now it's built up all the way to the highway. So many apartments and stores. But in those days, there was nothing. And if you were in Loy Bazaar and you wanted to get a rickshaw to go out to the Angrez Mandir, they called it, no one would take you. No one wanted to go that side because it was out of town. It was too far away. They wouldn't get a ride back. Right? But just see how it's changed. Right? Now it's so built up everywhere. But anyway, Srila Prabhupada on his morning walk, sometimes one person from Vrindavan would walk by and they would say, Radhe, Radhe. And Prabhupada would say, Hare Krishna. So, today's a very special day. It's a day that we can approach Srimati Radharani on her appearance day to give us some attraction for her beloved Krishna, to give us some inkling about the science. You can see this is very scientific. To understand this, understand Radharani, not an easy thing. Right? It's not a joke. Right? And we're steeped in misconceptions about what we are, who we are. We have no idea. Jiver Swarup Hoy, Krishna Nityadas. We're very far away from that. But we want this human form of life is an opportunity to get closer to our real identity as a servant of Krishna. And Srila Prabhupada specifically made this International Society for Krishna Consciousness so that devotees, like-minded devotees, could come together and progress. Progress in what? Develop your ahankara more and more? No. The message is to go back home, back to Godhead. Right? Don't stay here in this material world. It's not our place. It's not where we belong. We're also Satchit Ananda. But now we're covered over with so many different upadhis. Don't miss the point Srila Prabhupada mentions in the Nectar Devotion. Don't miss the point. The point here is to develop love for Krishna, nothing else. Don't get diverted to some other thing. Only love for Krishna. And Srimati Radharani is the embodiment of love for Krishna. So one other thing I'd like to mention before we close, and that is from Madhya Lila, chapter 23, text number 87. So this chapter is called Life's Ultimate Goal. And and here the Lord, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, is talking to Sanatana Goswami. And he's talking about the various qualities of Krishna. Okay. Apart from these 60 transcendental qualities, Krishna has an additional 4 transcendental qualities which are not manifest even in the personality of Narayan. These are, 1, Krishna is like an ocean filled with waves of pastimes that evoke wonder within everyone in the 3 worlds. 2, in his activities of conjugal love, he's always surrounded by his dear devotees who possess unequal love for him. 3. He attracts the minds of all three worlds with the melodious vibration of his flute. 4. His personal beauty and opulence are beyond compare. No one is equal to him, and no one is greater than him. Thus, the personality of Godhead astonishes all living entities, both moving and non-moving within the three worlds. He is so beautiful that he is called Krishna. Text 85. Above Narayan, Krishna has 4 specific transcendental qualities: his wonderful pastimes, an abundance of wonderful associates who are very dear to him, like the gopis. I mean, Krishna is surrounded by loving devotees. His wonderful beauty and the wonderful vibration of his flute. Lord Krishna is more exalted than ordinary living entities and demigods like Lord Shiva. He's even more exalted than his personal expansion, Narayan. In all, the Supreme Personality of Godhead has 64 transcendental qualities. Similarly, Srimati Radharani has unlimited transcendental qualities, of which 25 are principal. Sri Krishna is controlled by these transcendental qualities of Srimati Radharani. Srimati Radharani's 25 chief transcendental qualities are: 1. She is very sweet. 2. She's always freshly youthful. 3. Her eyes are restless. 4. She smiles brightly. 5. She has beautiful, auspicious lines. 6. She makes Krishna happy with her bodily aroma. 7. She's very expert in singing. 8. Her speech is charming. 9. She's very expert in joking and speaking pleasantly. 10. She's very humble and meek. 11. She's always full of mercy. 12. She is cunning. 13. She's expert in executing her duties. 14. She is shy. 15. She's always respectful. 16. She's always calm. 17. She's always grave. 18. She is expert in enjoying life. 19. She is situated at the topmost level of ecstatic love. 20. She's the reservoir of loving affairs in Goloka. 21. She's the most famous of submissive devotees. 22. She's very affectionate to elderly people. 23. She is very submissive to the love of her friends. 24. She is the chief gopi. 25. She always keeps Krishna under her control. In short, she possesses unlimited transcendental qualities, just as Lord Krishna does. So this 25th quality is, we have to take note of this. She always keeps Krishna under her control. So Srila Prabhupada explains that if you somehow or another attract the mercy of Srimati Radharani, then very easily she can tell Krishna, you please accept this devotee. And if Radharani tells Krishna to do something, he has to do it. So therefore the devotees want to somehow or another attract the special kindness of Srimati Radharani, especially on her appearance day, so that they may become good devotees of Krishna. Hare Krishna. Srimati Radharani ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Nitai Gaur Premanandi. Hare Krishna. want to do kirtan? Oh, you want to ask a question? All right, Hanuman, go ahead.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Some people say that no one can purchase a ticket and go to the Vrindavan without the permission of Srimati Radharani. Yeah. No one can stay there. One may build a house but not able to stay without mercy of Srimati Radharani. You explain about this.
Vrindavan is a condition of the heart. As Prabhupada mentioned in the purport, for those pure devotees of the Lord, wherever they are is Vrindavan. One time Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, just after he took sannyas, he wanted to go to Vrindavan. So actually he was wandering in Gaur-mandal. So Nityananda, knowing the mood of the Lord, he told some cowherd boys, if Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes by this way, show him the Ganges and tell him it's the Jamuna. So, after some time, Mahaprabhu, he saw those cowherd boys, and he immediately thought of Vrindavan, and the cowherd boys of Vrindavan, and the cows of Vrindavan. And in the mood of ecstasy, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who had just taken sannyas, he asked those cowherd boys, where is Vrindavan? And those boys told him, it's that way. And they pointed to the Ganga and they said, there's the Jamuna. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, thinking that he had come to Vrindavan and that the Jamuna was there, he jumped in with all his clothes on into the Jamuna and began to chant in ecstasy, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. At that time, Advaita Acharya came in a boat, and Mahaprabhu saw Advaita Acharya, and he said, Advaita Acharya, what are you doing here? And then he realized, oh, this is not Vrindavan. Lord Nityananda has cheated me. And at that time, Lord Advaita Acharya said, my dear Lord, wherever you reside, that is Vrindavan. So Vrindavan is a condition of the heart. And we saw that in the life of Srila Prabhupada. Wherever he was, it was Vrindavan. When Srila Prabhupada came to visit any temple, it was like a festival. And you can all think of any festival that you like. And that's the way it was when Srila Prabhupada visited. Whether it was Calcutta, or Chicago, or New York, wherever he went, he was in Vrindavan, and he brought Vrindavan with him. So Vrindavan is a condition of the heart. And yes, the Lord manifested that same Goloka in this material world in Sri Vrindavan Dham. So it's beneficial for devotees to visit, take association, by hearing, by being in the Krishna Balaram Mandir, we become purified. But in order to attract the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who's non-different from Radha and Krishna, Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna, Nahi Anya, we have to do some work. We have to do the business of Krishna. And that business is to extol the glories of the holy Dham everywhere to preach the glories of Vrindavan, to preach the glories of the residents of Vrindavan, headed by Srimati Radharani, who are so surrendered to Krishna. And the chief way that we can do that, as directed by Srila Prabhupada, is by the sale and distribution of his books. By distributing Srila Prabhupada's books, we're distributing the best preacher. We're distributing the message that is carried down through all the parampara system to the conditioned soul. By taking one of these books, Srila Prabhupada said, and paying for a book, their material life is mortally wounded, means that one day they'll go back to the spiritual world. They won't continue here in the material world forever, which is the fate of all those who have not contacted the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is to be able to actually enter into the pastimes of Radha and Krishna in the spiritual world. So this is what it means to be in Vrindavan. Srila Prabhupada, although he was managing a big movement and he was the Acharya, in his heart of hearts, he was worshiping Radha and Krishna in his particular mellow of love, in his heart of hearts. So our hearts are filled with unwanted desires. So much what they call kachara is there. And Srila Prabhupada has given us the perfect prescription for cleaning our hearts, cheto dharpana marjanam. And that is to chant, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. By the mercy of Srimati Radharani, if we can chant purely, then our hearts will become a suitable place for Krishna to have a seat and to perform his pastimes. This is our hope, this is our desire, and it's kind of like hope against hope. The heart is just like a piece of coal, black coal. How can you clean black coal? But we can't underestimate the power of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his mercifulness. Remember, he's in the mood of Srimati Radharani. He's extremely merciful. So if we depend on Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy, anything becomes possible. We can actually live in Vrindavan. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Nitai Gaura Haribo, 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 Haribo. Nittai Gaur Haribo, 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 Gaura Haribo. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki, Krishna Bhagavan ki, Srimati Radharani ki, Nittai Gaur Premanandi Hare.
Discourse Mahaprabhu ki.